Evening everyone, and welcome back to the English shooting live stream. For all of the usual, you know what the deal is, and obviously thank you for joining the usuals as well. But for anybody new, this is an interactive live stream. You can ask questions, we can bring up topics, anything you want to discuss, gun related or otherwise. I will be happy to oblige. Of course, the sort of one and only real topic this week has been this whole Guntrader debacle. It is unfortunately the gift that keeps on giving, and things have taken a quite concerning turn for the worse. But we won't just be talking about that, this. There's some fairly big fairly big updates with Magload. Of course, I know a lot of you are following that, and it's where I spend a lot of my time and effort and energy. And I'll also be touching on, because it's a related note, why there haven't been any videos for the last couple of weeks. We have, of course, still done the live stream, which is every Thursday 7:30 p.m. UK time. Don't want to start missing those, but I had hoped that the live streams would have moved location by now, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But please don't be shy, have your say. I really do value people getting involved, and you know, if you disagree with me, fine, like let's open up the conversation and have a chat about something. If you want to propose something to talk about, please do so. But most importantly, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and just generally be awesome. It's all free, so it doesn't cost you a single penny. But yeah, absolutely fantastic to see all of the usual characters in the chat. Again, big thank you for joining. So what is going on with Guntrader? Surely this should all be over by now. Well, all of the previous videos and streams that we have done on this particular topic, if you don't know, I'll give you a quick update. Guntrader, which is like the Auto Trader or Gumtree. Are they in America? What's like the American version of Auto Trader or Gumtree? It's a gun selling platform, so people are able privately and professionally, so gun dealers are able to put up their ads for various guns, new, secondhand, whatever. And it has, I think it's the largest largest website of this type in the UK, and a number of weeks ago they were hacked, and I think it was 111,000 or 112,000 user details were put out there on the dark web, with some connotations around criminals using these to obtain firearms. Of course, firearms law in the UK is very, very strict. It can be relatively hard to get hold of a firearm, certainly legally and more so illegally as well. So to have this effective shopping list for criminals to be able to go out and, whilst there was no set link between whether the account holder was a gun owner and whether they did have guns at that address, there were various mechanisms to be able to sort of deduce that. And it's a gun selling website. The chances of the account holders having guns is pretty high, and it, at least I think we were talking about, it's going to be at least a 50-50 chance that they're going to strike gold and be able to find an address with guns there. So Guntrader, as we've all discussed it, in my opinion, I think handled it horrifically. They needed to be a lot more transparent about it, and it actually took a number of days for any sort of official statement from them. But that's sort of all in the past. Like, the mistakes were made. We know that their security, the experts have basically deduced that their security was quite obviously not up to scratch and was most likely outdated. But the most recent development is a lot more concerning, because it's no longer speculation of whether these are going to be these details are going to be used in a sinister or illegal way. They are being used in a sinister and illegal way, thanks to a website, Hunting Leaks. So they are a anti-hunting website, and it's not just specific hunting. It's not just fox hunting or game shooting. They don't like the shooting of animals or the hunting of animals at all. And this is the sort of website that proactively go out to cause as much pain and misery for hunters as possible. Now, one first very important distinction to make is not every gun owner, not every shooter is a hunter. I don't actually know what the divide is, but there's a significant amount of people that enjoy shooting, that own firearms, that have absolutely no interest in hunting. So it's tarring everybody or painting everybody with the same brush, unfortunately. But they have gone one step further, and not only are they publishing the information again for people to freely go out and download. I believe the previous website that they were available for, the original leak, was taken down. The NCA are very much involved in this, and obviously they have a lot of power at their disposal, and they got it taken down, I believe. But now it's on this website, and going one step further, as you can see, there's a Google Earth logo. What they have done, and there's actually a better picture, and this has made national news, they have ripped out all of the data and have been able to, and I think there's instructions to be able to do this using Google Earth, that every little pinpoint there is a Guntrader user. That is their address information, and not only is it now a shopping list, not only is it, was the data already out there, but they have made it 10 times easier for somebody to now use that data, see where the hotspots are, see exactly where everybody is. So incredibly concerning, and moreover to this, not only have they put this out there, not only have they made this map, but they are actively calling for people to harass people, the account holders and the people to which this information relates, including myself and including a number of friends. And this is their blurb. So and they actually quote, it's the register that they quote, and I guess this is the article that made them aware of it, and they were able to then go and find it and get the data for themselves. But they actually call, there's a bit about hunting. Grouse shooting has already started, obviously the glorious 12th. Partridge shooting has now started, as it's started on the 1st of September, and they're also talking about the culling of badgers. Many of these people will be, there we go, I'll highlight it for you guys. Many of these people will be on this database. Please do contact as many as you can in your area and ask them if they are involved in shooting animals. The database contains plenty of contact details. And there's also another, here we go. This is the bit that really just, you know, after what we've just had with Plymouth and the news and obviously gun control network instantly, again, tarring everybody the same, or painting everyone with the same brush, or whatever the expression is. I've gone completely blank on that one. But basically looping everybody together, and this whole notion that every firearm enthusiast or every gun owner is just a raving nutter. But they go, whilst it's important to remember that not all gun owners shoot animals, many only shoot targets. The vast majority do kill animals for fun, and sometimes even go on to kill humans. And you know, what more do you have to say about that statement? It's obviously a very tilted bias. These people obviously have a blind agenda, and they are completely devoid of sort of fact and reason. They think that shooting animals is wrong, period, and no one should be able to do it. It's not like all of the food that vegans eat are protected by people with guns shooting the animals that would otherwise destroy those lovely vegan crops. And it's, you know, they say the majority do indeed kill animals for fun. Not everybody kills for fun. There is a huge amount of work and effort and jobs created for pest control. I'm pretty sure, whilst I'm sure overall they enjoy their job, obviously they wouldn't be doing it, but pest controllers, you know, they're doing it to make a living, not necessarily because they enjoy it, and not necessarily because it's their hobby. And also, I'm sure if you ask most gamekeepers, they would rather not be out there till silly o'clock in the morning shooting foxes that are eating their birds, or during the during the various seasons throughout the year with the crops, going out there and having to shoot hundreds and hundreds of pigeons. You know, sometimes it can get a little bit more annoying. It's not so much fun, but there is a job to do. So this is sort of the crux of the website, and you can see here, this is the link from that page. I mean, we are dealing with the absolute height of criminality here. This is obviously a very, very well thought out, intelligent organization that we are dealing with, because the data file, the CSV file that contains all of this information, they have, for lack of better words, quite obviously decided to call it Gunny Gun. I mean, they're not wrong, but they maybe could have come up with something a little bit better. But yes, this has made national news. We've got the BBC covering it. We've got, as I showed earlier, we've got the Daily Mail covering it. And Basque have been actually pretty hot on this. So their first article from this update, again, thank you, Basque, for using a screenshot of my post and not crediting, but, you know, there we go. Basically, the crux of it with Basque between the two articles is be vigilant. I know that's like no shit, Sherlock, but that's really the only advice. They give a detail of the the NCA. The NRA wouldn't dare be proactive or actually do anything useful. But the NCA's response, they are obviously investigating it, and again, the NCA are calling for people to be vigilant. And again, it's a no shit Sherlock statement. People's addresses that are potentially gun owners, that is going to be incredibly appealing and interesting to criminals and activists and anti-hunters, anti-shooters, anti-gunners, whatever. And there's going to be a lot of flack. This information is out there. It's been, not only is it out there, it's now been compiled into a lovely map. It's freely available and easy to download off of this website. I mean, at least the other forum that it was available on, you had to sign up for an account and be approved. And I think you even had to pay for it. I might be incorrect for that, but I didn't actually go on there and download it myself. So I can neither confirm nor deny that. But there was at least some barrier. These guys are trying to push it out there. So what are we going to see? We are going to see people from that data set being harassed. We're going to potentially see an increase in gun thefts. We're going to see an increase in potential general criminality around these addresses. Also, there is this stigma that all gun owners are absolutely minted. If you're into shooting, then you must be a game shooter, a clay shooter, and you must have thousands of pounds worth of guns and other equipment in the house. So even just the appeal from, moving aside from the appeal from the guns themselves, just having this data set of these people are gun owners. There's probably a lot of nice expensive stuff in the house. Just general burglars, and robbers will just go there to sort of chance their arm. So yeah, it's not good. And in terms of being vigilant, I mean, of course, if you are an FAC or an SGC holder and you are keeping guns at home, they should be locked away. They should be securely kept. But just another reminder to absolutely make sure that everything is buttoned down. I don't want to get people paranoid or nervous about what potentially could happen, but now that this has stopped being what if, and we're seeing that people are using this maliciously, they are using this to call for harassment of gun owners, it can potentially only escalate from there. So make sure if you go out, you are shutting all of your windows. If you have an alarm, set it. Make sure all of the doors are completely locked and bolted up, and obviously make sure the guns are put away. I have been talking to a number of people that have got in contact with myself through EnglishShooting around Guntrader and talking to Guntrader. Apparently, Guntrader is not being very cooperative or really any very helpful with answering people's concerns and liaising with them. Again, they've got 111,000 potentially pissed off people. I'm sure they're very busy trying to deal with that. But what more can people do? Well, again, it all comes down to the security, and there have been various talks about compensation and Guntrader showing some sort of willing to help people bolster their security. Of course, as gun owners, if you're keeping firearms in the home, your security will be pretty good already, but I think it's going to be worth investing in more levels of security. Not every gun owner has CCTV. Perhaps it's going to be good to invest in some CCTV cameras, and you can get nice, fully featured ones off of Amazon for 30-40 quid, and just dotting them around the perimeter and windows and things like that. And it's not always a requirement to have an alarm if you're keeping guns at the home, but potentially you should look into having an alarm, and certainly a monitored alarm, so that you're notified if anyone breaks in. And again, just being extra vigilant. If you're seeing odd cars, cars that you don't normally see, and people hanging around, and cars parked outside and loitering, just be aware of that sort of behavior. If people sort of come and test your door, and it's a common trick that criminals will use, that they want to make sure that the house is empty before they try and break into it, so they knock on the door with some sort of benign backstory. If something doesn't feel odd, just report it. The police and the NCA are taking this very, very seriously, and we do just all need to have our wits about ourselves. And yes, you don't want to be there paranoid and sat out there at the window late into the night watching and taking the details of every car that goes past. But if something doesn't seem right at the moment, I think it's just better to sort of call it in and potentially be more challenging with people that are knocking on the doors sort of out of the blue, asking for ID. Certainly I wouldn't be letting anybody into the house unless I've verified who they are, where they've come from, what company they are working for. So yeah, we just need to be really safe, and hopefully we don't see any progression from this, or any escalation overall. But I really think if the only real thing to have peace of mind is to increase your security. That does have costs associated with it, and so far from what I've heard, people aren't having great success in maybe having that compensated by Guntrader. At the end of the day, whilst I certainly wouldn't wish this on any company, I'm sure they're having a really bad time of it. I'm sure it's already cost them a hell of a lot of money, but that's little consolation to the users and people that now have their personal information, their phone numbers, their email addresses, their actual physical addresses and other details as well. You know, even your full name and date of birth, you start putting all of that sort of data together. You can be scammed, you can have fraud, people can clone your identity. So yeah, it's little consolation. It's incredibly worrying, and that's really the update of what is going on. But I will be following it very closely and seeing what else happens, and yeah, we'll have to sort of see how it goes. But again, be vigilant, keep an eye out on what's going out, and hopefully nothing more serious happens from it. At the end of the day, an anti-hunting organization, whilst they can be an absolute nuisance, generally speaking, these people are just absolute fuckwits. You know, they're not particularly intelligent people. They're usually, the dregs of society that have nothing better to be doing other than harassing people because they enjoy a perfectly lawful pursuit. So I wouldn't think that we're going to see anything really complex or like, some sort of intelligent form of harassment, but I wouldn't put it past these people to start going knocking on doors, to start phoning people out of the blue. And again, even a phone call, even there's something as seemingly benign as a phone call, if you are contacted off of the back of somebody using your data from Guntrader, you should report it. What they are doing, I think, a point I haven't made already, what they have done here with this website, this is serious criminality. This isn't activism. This isn't a protest, or this is criminal. This data doesn't belong to them. The only people that this data belongs to is Guntrader and the account holder. And to put this publicly and quite easily accessible online, that's breaking a number of different laws. To then go even further and put it into that map, that shows quite a thought out process, and it shows that they are consciously trying to engage people in criminal activity. So whoever is responsible for this website, whoever is behind it, the police should be putting them behind bars, because the damage that this could do is completely untold. It really could make a lot of people's lives an absolute misery, and they need to pay for it. And I don't mean as in vigilantism or anything. They need, you break the law, you've got to pay for it. That's why we have a legal system. So hopefully the NCA will find out who's behind this. Hopefully they will become known, and they will get whatever sentence is fitting for the various laws that they have that they have broken. And once again, this really does show the polar opposites of the shooters and gun owners. They were constantly labelled as nut jobs or deranged, violent people, and actually we're some of the most law-abiding people in the world. The bar, society's bar for us is much higher than everybody else's, and it just goes to show that the other side of the argument, they don't batter an eyelid to break laws. They don't batter an eyelid to go out there and harass people and be threatening and threat violence against people. But yet still, if you shoot or you're interested in guns, you're instantly the bad guy. But yeah, there we go. I'm not going to go on about it too much. That is just the general update for what's going on Guntrader. I had hoped to make this into sort of a full video, and I'll get into what's been going on the previous 2 weeks. So for those of you that don't know, Magload has recently moved premises. We now have our own completely sort of separate unit, and it's quite a big chunk of space, and it's exactly what we needed to get everything, all the business functions under one roof and together, for us to be able to grow and to continue offering the level of service that we wanted to offer. Obviously, moving an entire business is quite a tiring and time-consuming job, and amongst all of this, I ended up going away for 3 or 4 days on a belated birthday present to my fiance. So it's been a really hectic, busy couple of weeks. We're about well, I'd say we are 100% moved into the unit now. Everything, all the machinery, all of the stock, all of the, you know, desks and chairs and whatever, everything is in the building, but we're probably about 90% unpacked. We're still, you know, well, still quite, you know, we're still unpacking boxes. There's still unpacked boxes, you know, sat there that we haven't got round to yet. We're still getting in the flow. Obviously, getting into a new space, we need to sort of find where everything goes and where everything works best. So we're still getting into the flow of it. But I'm very happy to say that overall orders were not affected. So we were still shipping throughout. We ended up doing the bulk of the move over a weekend. So if you place anything from magload.co.uk, you will still get it as quickly as we can ship it out. We are also starting to ship the element loader. So we talked about this a few weeks. Obviously, the move did delay things a little bit, but anybody that has pre-ordered the element loader, we have been shipping today and we'll be shipping tomorrow. So hopefully we'll clear down all of the pre-orders by the weekend, and everyone that was awesome enough to pre-order it will have it for the weekend. So yes, with everything going on with the move and going away for a few days and then unpacking and getting settled in the new place, it's just been a very, very busy couple of weeks, and unfortunately the videos have taken a back seat, but there is some really cool stuff going out. I still have the Scottish Championship, the UK PSA level 3 or IPSC level 3 UK PSA shotgun championship video, the practical shotgun. That is in edit. I'm about halfway through that. It needs to get sent to the UK PSA for approval, but I'm hoping to have that out within the next week or so. I've also got the review of the new Caliber Innovations RR, the JPS, the John Players special, and that again is in edit. I'm hoping to get that out within the next week or so. David has been pestering me, but as I've been telling him, like, join the list of things that I've needed to do over the last week or two. I've also got the infamous Coats of Iron match. That was an IPSC level 3, the UK PSA Coats of Iron. A very interesting match, some incredible stages, some incredible stage furniture, and obviously the infamous stage, was it stage 1 or stage 2? I think it was stage 1. It was one of the slug stages where quite a few people got DQ'd, and hence why the match is infamous. So that will be coming out as well. And this weekend, as if I wasn't busy enough, Connors and I will be heading up to the Pro Shoot / Welsh Mini Rifle Championship. That is also an IPSC UK PSA level 3 mini rifle match. So I've not yet been to the Pro Shoot range. I unfortunately had to miss the level 3 shotgun match that they had there, and from the photos and the videos that I saw, it just looks absolutely epic. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with that space. The possibilities are endless. You know, you look like the Scottish Championship is impressive because it is quite a compact range, and what they end up being able to do with that space, even though some of the stages they feel, I'm trying to think of a rough side. Like some of the stages is like smaller than the footprint of a bed, you know, like a double bed. But they still make it engaging and challenging, even though you can have these quite, you know, non-movement. They become very technical stages. There's less movement and sort of running about, but it's impressive to see what they do with the space. Pro Shoot do not have that issue. They have acres and acres of land to use, and sort of limitless backstops, and they can use different angles, and it just looks absolutely immense. So I'll be filming that the full weekend. I believe Connors and I are shooting it on the Saturday, and I will be there filming for the full day on the Sunday. So you'll get to see what comes out of that. So 3 pretty big match videos that will be coming out soon. A review of the RR coming out soon, and there's a number of other different guns from Caliber Innovations. Very interested. I don't know what I can and can't say, but there's some really interesting pieces coming out from them. I'm hoping to be able to get hands on and review that. And other little gizmos and gadgets I have, and if Richard's watching, again, thank you very much for lending me this. I have this to get out and review. So really need to get down to the range, whack this onto a rifle and get it. It is, I'll just double check, it is a 1:8 by 28 Trijicon Credo. My initial impressions of this is really, really good, and I am, you know, I've been looking for a new mini rifle optics. I think I've pretty much settled on the Trijicon MRO, but the Credo, it could be an option. So yeah, lots of things to come. I'm still dedicated to getting videos out there, and hopefully at some point there will be some sort of development with my application, and I'll be able to continue the you know, getting your first gun series. I can't remember where we got up to with that, but it's getting the application in, I think. Then it's sort of like, oh no, I've done the interview. There's not really much else. What I want to then show is how you then go and buy your first gun and what the processes involved are. So we will, like, I want a full series where you are taken from I sort of like the idea of shooting to going and buying your first gun. I think actually what I could do in the meantime, paired with the interview, is security arrangements, and because my own security arrangements will be changing quite drastically, it's something that I've never shown on the channel, something that I've never shown online for obvious reasons. I don't want to show what my security arrangements are, but as they will be changing, I should feel comfortable enough. So perhaps the next video in that series should be, you know, installing your safe, what sort of safe you should go for, what sort of security arrangements you should have, and then we can sort of keep that keep that one going. And if you joined in for the last week's streams where we I said that if we got over 100 likes, I need to like come up with something every week. So if we hit over 100 likes, don't forget to like. You know, there's a lot more people watching than have liked it, so, you know, please do hit like. But yeah, last week we hit over 100 likes, and I promised that I would show the full process of legally 3D printing a Section 1 firearm in the UK and getting it proofed. I put the feelers out. I put a little bit of you know, to talk to a few people that I think may be able to help, and it's not a no. So it's on the cards. It's definitely something that can be done, and more importantly can be done legally. So it's something that I think I said ages ago it'd be really interesting to do. So yeah, I'm interested in doing it, and we will have to wait and see. Yeah, I said it's not going to be exactly a very fast process, or it is going to take a little while to get it done, but yeah, that will be another set of videos that will be coming out very, very soon. 100 likes, free goodies. Okay, what are you guys suggesting? If this gets 150 likes, I'll buy Callum the spiciest Nashville fried chicken for Saturday night dinner. So Daniel and I are going this, like, we need to give a bit of context here, Daniel. So Daniel is also shooting the mini rifle, the Welsh Mini Rifle Championship, and he's very kindly booked us a table. Unfortunately, not a table for two. There will be other people there, but we're going to be heading into Cardiff for some food after the match on Saturday night. If anyone is in the Cardiff area, fancy coming, grabbing a drink, let us know. The more the merrier. But yeah, I'll do some fiery chicken. That's doesn't. I'm not scared of doing that. 100 like free goodies, but the issue is, like, who do the free goodies go to? It's like, it's all well and good hitting 100 likes, but then I've got to do like a separate competition for the free goodies. It's got to be, I don't know. Suggest some things. Like, you've got to suggest some things, and then we can see if we can get it. So yeah, in terms of Magload, I don't want to turn this into a huge, like, heavy Magload video, apart from the fact that the Element will be launched very soon. So if you want to get your pre-orders in still, it's everything learnt from the Nexus and sort of reduced into a more affordable package, basically. Top night out in Cardiff, you'll be ruined, mate. I've had a few there. It's it is a place I have frequented in my past. So yes, we've got the Element that will be launching for, you know, sort of immediate shipping release very, very soon. But a couple of additions and a couple of things. It's going to be, it's ultimately a Magload Open day, but of course I'll be there, Connors will be there, both of us obviously quite entwined into this channel, so it will sort of by essence be an English Shooting Open day as well, or English Shooting meetup, but we will be having a Magload Open day at the new unit very, very soon. We're aiming either for well, I'm aiming for, whether Connors agrees or not, I'm aiming for either towards the end of this month or at some point before we go away next month. So late this month, early next month, to sort of throw open the doors to Magload, get everyone down, you know, maybe have a bit of an open day sale if you wanna grab yourself some bargains. So yeah, get everyone down there, have a bit of a barbecue, have a few drinks, things like that, and just have a general hangout. So that will be coming. And also for an update, there's nothing solid yet, but we've done all the hard bits. Magload will be doing UK PSA safety courses. So if you are interested in getting into IPSC, into practical shooting, you may or may not know that you need a competition license to be able to shoot a level 2 or above. I keep on talking about level 3 matches, the level 3 Welsh Mini Rifle Championship this weekend, the level 3 practical shotgun matches. Well, to be able to shoot one of those matches, you need a competition license. To get a competition license, you need to attend a safety course, a UK PSA safety course with a UK PSA qualified instructor. There's a long gun or a shotgun course, the most popular within the UK, because shotguns are most popular discipline, are the long guns, and Magload will be running long gun UK PSA safety courses. So if you're interested, if you need to get one, if you want to get one, and whilst it's all about getting that competition license so that you can go and compete, it is a great taster to the sport as well. You'll spend the whole day on a range shooting, learning various techniques, and you know, even though I'd been doing practical shooting for a number of years before I actually did my safety course, there are a number of things that I learned. So it's really insightful. It's a great sort of taster session. If you are interested in getting yourself put on sort of the waiting list, there's no dates at the moment, but the hardest bit is finding a location. We've got that location sorted, and we're going to be running groups of 12. So you know, it's a smaller, you know, it's not a sort of a free-for-all with its 12 people, and it will be one instructor. I will be assisting Connors in it, so it will be both myself and Connors sort of running those safety courses. So if you're interested, drop an email to info@magload.co.uk. You can go onto the Magload website and use the contact us form, or find the email from the website, or you can drop me a message through English Shooting. There was actually somebody, don't know if they're watching, hi, if you are, but there was somebody that had got in contact through English Shooting, was interested in some training, and I was able to arrange training with Connors. So Connors does do training courses, not just safety courses, but bespoke training for any level of shooter. So if you're just starting out and you want a bit of one-on-one to really speed yourself up the progression, then again, get in contact with us. We'll be running various training days, either one-to-one or small group training. And well, you know, Connors is the man, isn't he? You know, he knows what he's doing. He's a grandmaster. He's on track. Maybe missing the what is it? It's the home countries or counties. Is it countries or counties? Home countries match might have slipped him, but he's on course certainly for second in the year out of the whole of the UK for standard manual, and he may still pip that number one spot. And running the calculations, we're pretty sure he's still going to be grandmaster. So anyway, he knows what he's doing. And if you needed any other reason to want to spend an afternoon on the range with Connors, some of you may have seen today's Magload post, taken by yours truly, I might add, and it's brilliant. whilst I was taking these photos, I couldn't stop laughing, and neither could Connors. He kept having to pause. So I keep talking about Connors, and maybe you've never seen him before, maybe you don't know who I'm talking about. I think this is probably the best introduction I can give you. And what I want to add is that this isn't in any way, what do they call it, photoshopped. This is, apart from a little bit of color grading and usual wizardry with the raw images, this is an actual photo. We did bury him in Magload, and I genuinely can't stop looking at this photo. There's just something about it. Yeah, we had great fun getting this done today, and it was a post. I think you can see Magload, the only gun oil approved by the Face. It's perfect, absolutely perfect. Probably one of the best photos I've ever taken. But we were all in absolute hysterics trying to get it done. Daniel Majestics, absolutely. Anyway, I've been rambling on for far too long. You guys, well, again, it's like, what else is new, right? But you guys have been chatting. What have you guys been talking about? Is David Kiddle, don't make me ban you. Is Afghan eBay reliable? Cheap black quartz listed. I mean, it's not a topic that I really want to get into that much, but I was, did I say Guntree? That's just a Freudian slip. Like, obviously it's not really great, the lists of equipment that has been divulged that was left in Afghanistan. But the thing, like, it was like, oh, you idiots, oh, you've left Humvees, you've left ARs, you've left Glocks and rifles, pistols, handguns, whatever. You've left munitions, you've left all of this stuff. Like, that's not good. But the thing that just I was almost like apoplectic with rage about was that they left the dogs. They left the fucking canine units, like, in just dog boxes in a hangar. Like, who does that? Like, okay, like, on the flip side, every bit of available space was going to a person so that they could get out of there. But still, like, they were flying out empty planes out of there. The first, like, if I was, like, what do they call it? It's the, is it the quartermaster? The person responsible for all of the gear. And they, that would have been top of the list. Like, what do we absolutely need to get out of this country? The canines. Like, absolute bastard. Like, that's just put me over the edge on that one. Super Taz 100, thank you very much, really appreciate it. So you spent the afternoon lubing him up, pretty much. That is quite literally what I spent my afternoon doing, is pouring Maglube over Connors. Pretty standard Thursday afternoon, if I'm going to ask you. That's why you should come to the open day. Maybe we can get one of those, like, face cutouts, like one of those boards you see on, like, Brighton Pier or something. The dogs are contractors, not the US dogs. Oh, it's the contract. Okay, whether or not it's like somebody left canine units out there, like, don't care who, you're a bastard. They don't have the aircraft carriers to bring all the stuff home. It was the carriers that took off all to Afghan. They managed to move a fucking rock. The machinery is unserviceable. So yes, like, are the Taliban really going to be able to fly all of the various bits of aircraft that they have there without crashing? Probably not, but I'm pretty sure they know how to use an AR-15 or an M16 or whatever specific spec they are. But they're going to be able to pick up a rifle and use it. They're going to be able to pick up a rocket launcher and use it. They're actually quite versed in that, or well experienced. Handguns, so on and so forth. I'm pretty sure they can figure their way out how to get a Humvee working. I mean, it's not that different to a Toyota Hilux, right? But they they can't, like, how could you do that? Just absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, I'm just, like, catching up on what you guys have been saying. Jason Robinson, I have motion sensors which sends me messages if they are set off. Easy to add if you have hive heating. Might invest in alarm, even though I never registered with Guntrader. World gone mad. I mean, like, as any gun owner, anyone keeping guns at your home, you should, like, don't scrimp on your security. It's one of those things that, you know, all the time that nothing bad happens, you're like, oh, well, I didn't need to spend that money. But as soon as something does happen, like that, you know, a few £100 that you might have saved on not adding CCTV or not adding an alarm seems to becomes very, very cheap all of a sudden. So make sure that everything is up to scratch. Obviously, with, you know, myself being more outward and sort of public facing, I have taken my security incredibly seriously for a number of years, even to the point where there is security measures that, like, no one knows about. I don't even declare it to the FEO. It's not, you know, I declare what is required to the minimum to be able to get the certificate and pass the application and be able to store guns here. But I take the approach of don't trust anyone. You know, there should be security measures that potentially only you know, maybe not even your spouse, although if you can't trust your spouse, then why are you with them? But yeah, I go absolutely above and beyond in terms of keeping myself and also family safe. And my new arrangements will be even more. Bud, the stuff, I only use Guntrader to browse. Luckily, I've never created an account. Same for me, really. The majority, like 99.9% of my usage of Guntrader is just looking at guns I can't buy. But I did open an account because I did sell guns on there, and that's where my details were. Don't get me wrong, like, I still like Guntrader as a platform. Obviously, their security has much to be desired. But they I do like the platform. It's still like the largest platform out there for buying guns online in the UK. Sorry, just quick clarification, you can't buy a gun online in the UK, but to be able to browse guns for sale online, there we go, that's the correct legal term on that one. Any purchase off your site would be the entry for the free giveaway, win-win for both sides. Ooh. Yeah, but then I've got to lock it down to like how do I lock it down? Oh, I could give a code out. We sort that out. This is I've talked about doing like a weekly giveaway for ages. I think I have an idea. I don't think I can do it right now this second, but I think I have an idea to be able to but then you'd have to order something. Any purchase off your site would be the entry for the free giveaway. But then it's not like a free giveaway, because then you've got to go on the site and buy something. I'm sure I can sort something out. But I should be really more prepared and have something. I should have like the 100 likes bar. Like if it's met, then something happens. I don't know. Maybe if we get 100 likes on this one, I'll vape some Magload. That's probably one of the stupidest things I've ever said, because we all know now what's going to happen. And just to clarify, Magload is an excretion from Connors, so you really don't want to know what sort of risk I am putting myself at with that one. There are Black Hawk service manuals available online. If I can access them, the Taliban definitely can. Yeah, but they've got a dial-up connection. It's going to take quite a while to download, right? Have you got a range at/near the new Magload HQ? No, we don't. We are on a full-blown industrial estate. I don't know what the neighbours would think if we started shooting in the car park. It is a long-term plan. We went for quite a big place with space to develop and grow into. So we're planning to be there for quite a long time. And I think the longer term goal would be to have like potentially an indoor range facility on the estate somewhere. So maybe we lease another unit, we find a plot of land nearby that we can then, because there's lots, it's a proper industrial estate. There's like a recycling centre, lorry like truck stop. There's like, it's a real industrial area, so there could be potential pockets of land that we could either rent or buy to be able to turn into a shooting facility. It's there, like it's on the wish list. We want a commercial range venture of some kind. It just makes absolute sense for us to do that at some point, but that's going to be maybe a few years down the line. But it is something that we're always looking out for, and I always refer back to Glenn, who built, quite literally hand built, and runs the Phoenix shooting range up in Barnsley. A fantastic facility. If you're ever in that area, go to it. Even if you're an existing FAC holder and you shoot regularly at other ranges, just to go and see how good a range can be here in the UK. The facilities really are second to none. I have a lot of time for Glenn and his passion and sort of drive for getting new people into the sport. And it's he built this range, this indoor complex, inside an industrial unit. So if he's done that, there's no reason that we can't do the same nearby. Again, it's on the cards, it's on the plans, but at the moment, no. Although technically an RFD can shoot anywhere, but again, I don't think the neighbours are going to be particularly happy if we start just walking around the back of the unit and start shooting. It was unfortunate, both fortunate and unfortunate. Actually, behind us was, I think, old like diesel or oil stores for backup generators for another building. And apparently they were these huge, like you could walk into them, sort of concrete tanks. And our initial thought was like, shit, these are just sat there not being used. It's a pretty reinforced concrete structure. It probably won't be that hard to, at the very least, turn it into a test firing bay, which is obviously quite important for us to be able to do. But there are local ranges nearby that we will do all of that at. And we were going to start inquiring to see, and these things were like a little bit dilapidated, obviously no one had really had access in years to them. And when we moved in, they had started demolishing them. It was like, no, please, like leave them alone. We wanted those. That was going to be our range. But we will find something. Callum doesn't say this, but he has 2 guard dogs, one being a pug. Stop giving out my security measures. Buzz and Woody, and yes, they are actually called Buzz and Woody, and yes, make the joke. I know what's coming. They are ferocious. I wouldn't want to get onto the wrong side of them. They may look small, but yeah, they take a finger off or two. Callum and Dan just had the confirmation. SUPS, October 2022. So for those of you that don't know, SUPS is the Southern Utah Practical Shooting. What is? Shouldn't there be a 5th letter? SUPS, Southern Utah Practical. Let me just Google it. Acting like I know what I'm talking about. SUPS. And anyway, it's the range that we went to in Utah, which obviously there hasn't been a trip there for a little while. So it would help if I could spell. SUPS. It is the Southern Utah Practical Shooting Range. Yes, so it should be suppers. That's why I got confused. It is Southern Utah Practical Shooting Range. I just left off the R. Anyway, fantastic facility. You probably would have seen all loads of different videos from a few years ago. So yes, no doubt that certainly myself, I don't know about Dan, can't speak for him. But I'll definitely be going back out there. Absolutely love Utah. I love that whole trip. Obviously, we're going to Kentucky. That is going to be a pretty mammoth trip. That is looking more and more likely that it's going to happen. So we are getting more and more excited. Don't want to get our hopes up because obviously, you never know what's going to happen. But yes, it's that's going to be an epic trip. But going out to Utah, the way we used to do it, either fly into LA and drive, stopping off at Las Vegas and then driving on to Utah through the Arizona sort of canyons, or just flying straight into Las Vegas, spending a night or two there, then driving off to to Utah. It was just it was more than just a shooting trip. You know, you get to go to so many different other states and places, and Utah, I've been fortunate enough to visit a number of different states from both coasts and all about, and I just absolutely love Utah. It would be, if I was to move out to America, if I was to emigrate out there, Utah would be high up on the list. Like Florida would and wouldn't. Like I don't get me wrong, I wouldn't mind going and moving to Florida, but from what else I've seen out there, probably end up sort of West Coast. I think that's sort of more for me overall. You know, so even spent time in Roswell in New Mexico. I preferred, I think personally, Utah over New Mexico, but it's all just stunning landscape and great people. That's, I say every single time, if you've never been out to America, the best bit about America, apart from their gun laws, are Americans. It's like, and especially American gun owners, I have never felt more welcomed, and I've never had a more sort of friendly reception than in at an American range, and they're so relaxed. It's like, yeah, I've never really shot handgun before, but I want to shoot a 500 Smith & Wesson. Yeah, sure, go for it. Okay, yeah, just tell the range officer that you'll be shooting this. Hey mate, I'm going to be shooting this. Cool, have fun. Like in the UK, you would, like, if you were able to buy a 500 Smith & Wesson handgun, it would be like shooting a 50 BMG. You'd have to like go and shoot 223 and then move up to 308 and then, you know, 338 Lapua, and then maybe if you've done it all correctly, they might let you shoot a 50 BMG. But no, it's obviously a stunning place. It's I do feel sometimes I was born in the wrong country. But yeah, Empire 3, obviously the big epic 3-gun matches, and I still have my I don't know if you can see that behind me, trophies from the previous trip there. Bud the Stuff, would you ever sell Magload the company? Well, it's not just mine to sell, but I don't think there is any both Connors and I own it. Connors has the majority share in it, and as he was the sort of original founder of Magload. Obviously there's sort of nothing stopping me from selling my share, but if that was to ever happen, I'd probably most likely be selling it to Connors, or I would be selling it to somebody else involved in the company. I don't have any intention or aspirations to like just flip it to some random investment guy. And in terms of Connors ever selling his share, I mean, you know, we have talked about it. Not talked about it as in terms of a plan, but you know, it's come up in conversation. And he said, like, basically what somebody would have to offer him, that he would never be offered it. It's just, it means far too much. You know, it's not just, and it's the same for me. It's not just a business. It's not just a company. It's not just products. It's like the whole shebang. This is our sort of our lives, our livelihood, our hobbies and interest, all combined into one. And also, if you know, Connors and I were to step away from it, like that, I would actually say, well, the majority of the value there is from Connors, but it would be like me selling EnglishShooting. Does EnglishShooting have any value without me? I don't know, that might be quite a big-headed statement, but you get the point that I'm trying to make. So would it ever work? Probably not. Would Connors ever sell? Probably not. You know, he's in it, well, we're both in it for the long haul. We want this to be what we do for the rest of our lives, and selling off sort of scuppers that plan. Daniel, I liked Toy Story 2 when I was 5. It's the best movie ever. Is there any way of finding out if one's info is on the list, even if one never had an account with Guntrader? If you never had an account with Guntrader, you won't be on that list. It is only people that had accounts with Guntrader, that had opened account, you know, had put in a username and password and actively opened an account, not just browsing it, but opened an account. And for the flip of that, if you had an account with Guntrader, your data is in it. So it's quite easy. If you know either way, you can deduce whether your data's in that. If you have an account, your data's in it. If you didn't have an account, your data won't be in it. Do you have a mailing list for these trips? I remember you arranging a previous trip on Facebook, but I'm no longer on Facebook as it's crap. Can't say I necessarily disagree with that statement. It's Facebook is a necessary evil, unfortunately. But yeah, as Daniel says, speak to Kiddle via the KFC website about it. Or David, drop your email in here. Daniel? Did I say Daniel? Or David? I'm getting really confused now. So American Shooting Trips actually has a website. What am I talking about? Why are you recommending the KFC website, Daniel? They've got an American Shooting Trips website, so I'll bring that up. So lo and behold, it's www.americanshootingtrips.com. So pretty straightforward. And this is what you're looking for. So on this website, you can see, obviously notice about COVID, but they've got their sort of cancellation guarantee. You can see locations, so and the trips, so you can see exactly what you're going to be getting yourself into. And I believe you can also you can actually like sign up via the website. Here we go. So you can make a payment, pay your deposit, things like that. So yeah, americanshootingtrips.com. You can get in contact with them through there. So there's a contact us page. Is there an email address? No. So you have to fill in the form and get in contact. But I'm sure David will, David who runs it, will be more than happy to get back to you and help you out. Work your way up to the 500 Smith & Wesson. It would bust a wrist. I didn't find it too bad, I have to say, and I'm not like the biggest handgun shooter out there in the world. You just hold on. There's no limp wrists with that gun. You get limp wristed with it, it's coming back at you. You just grip it for all life, and I would recommend shooting it single action, because the issue with the double action is it's like you're trying to control that pull. Like you just want to be controlling the recoil. Single action it and go for it, but just obviously make sure you get some practice runs in there first, because you don't want it going off unexpectedly. No one likes an ND, do they? I'm eating into Magload pension pot in warranty claims. Are you now? Well, you should stop being so vigorous, shouldn't you? That's what I say to a lot of people. But as you know, all Magload products are warranted, so you don't need to worry. Daniel, does Callum have any of your bits? I have a lot of his bits, actually, usually in my mouth. Moving on. Are flight and accommodation included, or do you just pay for the shooting itself? So it is just a shooting package, but it is a hell of a shooting package. It covers all of the gun hire, all of the ammunition, all of the range fees, and all of the main week's matches. There's usually an add-on match for an additional cost, but it's like a huge international 3-gun match. Well worth adding on to that. I think we worked out. You can get flights out to Chicago. I think we paid. We actually upgraded to premium, so that's maybe not like the best baseline. But we bought the flights when they were absolutely dirt cheap, when no one was buying flights, and that's why we ended up being able to justify upgrading it to premium. Plus, I think when we worked it out, we both need extra bags because of all the amount of gear that we're taking, and I think it was like, once you'd paid for the extra bag in economy, it was only like 100 quid's difference. So anyway, we went a bit bougie and a bit Gucci and did that. But yeah, I think the base flight prices were like £400-500. So you're talking £1,000 for the shooting trip. You're talking £400-500 quid for flights and accommodation. That's really as expensive as you want to make it. You can find like a $50 a night motel. You can co-rent or like pitch in with a load of other people. There's loads of people getting Airbnbs, getting sort of cabins and things like that. That works out really, really cheap. I think it worked out in total about 200-300 quid a person for the one that we ended up going for, and I think there's 4 or 5 of us staying there, so it's, you know, and we've got a huge sort of huge cabin in the woods, which is going to be really, really interesting, or potentially very creepy. But yeah, it's, so all in all, I mean, for the shooting package, the flights and the accommodation, I would budget around £2,000. You might be able to get it a bit cheaper. Obviously, then, like, spending money, well, yes, you need some food money, but food is really cheap out in the States. And spending money, well, that just depends on how much you want to spend. But yeah, about £2,000 will get you out there and get you shooting, and I don't think there's a cheaper way to do it. I honestly don't. Like, when you go into Las Vegas and you see the shooting experiences there, they absolutely rinse you. Yes, you can go and shoot a minigun, but they're going to charge you $1,000 for 5 seconds. You know, like 100 rounds of ammo. And to shoot full autos, whilst I have gone and done it, it's expensive. And even shooting handguns, like, I think there was a package and it was like 25 rounds and it was like a $50 package, and that was a commercial range. Whereas if you go and find, you know, when I went to, I think it was the Oak Tree gun range out in LA, that was like a members club that happened to have like a public range and rental. And that ended up costing, the ammunition was a little bit more expensive because it's commercial range, but it was like £10 gun rental or $10 gun rental and $10 like range fee for the day. And then you pay just a slightly inflated rate for the ammunition. But $100 there got you a hell of a long way. In the likes of Las Vegas or commercial ranges in the city of LA, like $100 you'll probably be able to shoot like 50 rounds total through 2 different handguns. And also, as David is saying, they can do a complete sort of turnkey solution. So you don't have to go and book everything yourself. They can lump everything together, and obviously they get bulk deals. I never said he had it. I do. It's actually at work. I've had it here for a while, but yes, I do have all of Mochaccino's bits for the Olight. Dan was very disappointed I wasn't able to make it to the night shoot so that I could show him that Olight was far superior to whatever overpriced tat that he had bought. Adam, I am doing very well, thank you. I hope the same for you. Have you any links you recommend for shooting holiday? Yes, American shooting trips. As we've just been talking about, I'll put that in the chat so you can get to it easily. American shooting trips. If you want an example of what we get up to, go like type in American shooting trips or type in Utah into the channel, and a load of cool videos, definitely cool videos will turn up. There you go. There is the link, so you can go straight to there. There's really nowhere else I would go for a shooting trip. I think in terms of value and overall experience, you know, you get the fun element. You get days where you can just sort of wander around the range and just do what you want, pretty much. You know, insert previous video of us shooting Tannerite. And Tannerite, is it Tannerite? Or I'm thinking like thermite. No, Tannerite. Or you do like a high level match, and this is the great thing. You have these chilled afternoons where you're just, I say, messing about, like, of course safety at all times, but you can, you know, if you want to go and try and shoot a 9mm pistol standing at 100 yards at like a 3-inch target, go and do it. If you want to go and burn as much ammunition as fast as you can at 25 yards on like 5 different targets as quickly as possible, go and do it. If you want to borrow a minivan and simulate some drive-by shooting, go and do it. Like this, it's all good, it's all groovy. But then you have the serious side of it. I say the serious side. Then you have the high level matches. I mean, I think the Empire Strikes Back 2 or 1, or I can't remember which was the one that we did last, or I did last. That was like 150 people from all over the world. You know, you had obviously quite a lot of Americans, quite a lot of Brits, but there were people that travelled all the way from Canada for it, from Ireland, from, I think we even had some like Australian and New Zealanders come over for it. And it was a really challenging match. The Brits didn't do well at all comparatively, mainly due to the much bigger caliber semi-automatic rifles and handguns that we were all very much not familiar with. But the shotgun, we kicked some ass. That's for sure. So yeah, you get this real mix, and of course there's training. Like some of the best training I've ever had. So some of the most sort of important tips that I've taken away, so for handgun at least, was from these trips when I did. We did an afternoon with Glenn Wong and the Williams sisters, and there is stuff that I took away that every time I pick up a handgun since, it pops into my head, and it without a doubt made me a much better shooter just from that one afternoon. So you get to have world-class instruction, you get to compete in world-class matches, you get to have a bit of a fun, a bit of a laugh, you go out and enjoy some really nice American food. It's just a great trip overall. When running an O-light, you can never know when it's going to catch fire. I've never seen an O-light catch fire, you know, and obviously if you put them in your mouth and bite down on them, that's probably going to increase the odds significantly. When using a cheap barbecue stove, you never know when it's going to catch fire. Yes. I mean, not like Daniel can really talk about quality of products. He did go and buy a Chris Defiance. How's that working out for you, my boy? I heard last time I heard your Defiance was quite poorly. Hashtag should have bought 1522. As an Englishman, stop dropping our tea in the harbour. All right, go back to sleep now, Mochaccino. As an American, I would like to apologise for Biden's idiocy. No need to apologise, Adam. We all saw it coming. It came to no... Like, people are there going... I never thought I'd say this, but Trump doesn't seem so bad now. And everyone with half a brain is going, yeah, like, you know, I'm not saying that necessarily Trump was a great president, but Biden's doing a pretty good job of making him look that way. That's like Trump's going, yep, like, all I got to do is wait another like 3 years, I'll have it back. They'll be welcoming me back with open arms by the time fucking Biden is done. It's very poorly, but I'm moving up to a battle arms. Finally, you're finally going to take some of my advice. It's always like, Callum, what gun should I buy? 1522. Buys a Defiance. Callum, what gun should I buy? Buy 1522. Buys an Aero Precision. Although that was for the WMR, I know, but I also told you not to buy the WMR. 1520. You still not bought a 1522, and also like let's not get into the into your no, let's get into the history of guns that you have previously bought, Daniel. Obviously your first shotgun, off to a great start here, UTAS. Not a lot more needs to be said than that. And then, you know, not learning from your lesson about buying the wrong shotgun, you bought a 930 JM Pro. Which those two guns on their own managed to put you off shotgun ownership for life, as it seems, because you're like, no, stuff this. You bought the WMR when I was like, you're not going to get a use out of it. And I know you've put like 1 million rounds through it. All right, calm down, dear. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. He's there on the keyboard now. And I'm gonna have him. Yeah, we'll see. What else? What else did you buy? I can't argue with the Desert Tech. That was a pretty sweet purchase. But then you sold it. The Delisle also. Yeah, can't really fault you on that one. But yeah, battle arms. First bit of advice you've taken from me, and like, yeah, you'll see. Well, you've already seen at the Basildon match, but it's just a fantastic bit of kit overall. But yeah, 1522s are brilliant. I love mine. You cannot go wrong. I'm going to copyright claim every video that's had my guns or kit. Just like 3. It's not. Don't. I'm not. I think you're on Gunroom TV more than you are English shooting. Just gonna throw that one out there. But yeah. But the stuff. Do you do any game shooting? Watch 40% of video. 40. You're talking some porky pies here. Do you do any game shooting? I have. It's not something that I do regularly. I have partaken, sort of had my eyes open to the world of game shooting and hunting. I'm pleased to have taken part in it and sort of understand it better. But honestly, if I'm going to put my money into shooting, it's target shooting, it's practical shooting. Although Connors and I do like regularly sort of say about potentially doing like getting a few friends together and doing some sort of game shooting, because they are fun days out, and it very soon becomes very little about the actual shooting and more the camaraderie, the general chit chat, and the food. There's always good food at a game shooting. But yes, I have done so. Done duck shooting, partridge, pheasant, and yeah, that's the only game I've done so far. CMMG greater than 1522? Yes and no. So when you say CMMG, do you mean like an actual from the factory CMMG? Potentially, I could potentially take that, but a CMMG converted. So like I'm not going to start this one off. But like the Lantac rifles, right? Or even the Battle Arms. The Battle Arms uses a CMMG conversion kit. The Aero Precision L119 that Otto also makes from Cotswold Classic Arms is a CMMG conversion kit. There's nothing particularly wrong with the conversion kit, and there's nothing particularly wrong with the rifles that they go into. But they're not a drop-in solution. And I think this is where a lot of people go wrong and a lot of people have issues, is that the CMMG conversion kit needs to be tuned to the gun. And that's why I highly recommend Otto and Cotswold Classic Arms, because he knows what he's doing. He can tune a CMMG conversion kit with his eyes shut and makes them run like an absolute dream. If you buy just an upper and lower and bits and put it together and throw that kit in there, you will have issues. It will not be a 100% reliable gun. So if you buy a from the ground up CMMG, of course their rifles are made to use those kits. Lantac as well, that's why Lantac in the past I think has had issues with their CMMG conversion kit, but obviously the longer that they've sold stuff, the more they've sold, the more issues that they've seen and then had to fix, they've got a lot better of it, and that's why I genuinely do recommend the Lantac LASF 15. It runs like a dream, and I think they've really nailed it with the CMMG conversion kits and the overall gun. Oh, webcams chat, go away. Could you like message me maybe, I don't know, in like a couple of hours? That would be just as a reminder, Why have I got unhide user? Oh, it's because Daniel's already acted. Good, thank you, Daniel. It was going unhide user. I'm like, no, I'm trying to hide them. Pigeon shooting's where it's at. Yes, I've done a fair bit of roost shooting. Quite enjoyed that, but again, that wasn't necessarily about the shooting. It was just walking around the woods. Just being out there and just, finding a spot, being still for 10-15 minutes, maybe then moving out somewhere else. Like pigeons are like deceptively difficult to shoot. Nothing like clay pigeons, I can tell you that. 22 WMR from Guncraft, best gun I recently bought. Like, don't get me wrong, I highly rate the Guncraft 22 WMR. It's Rob has put a lot of time in getting those running really, really well. And they are a very reliable gun. My whole thing against the WMR is like, yes, it offers more range. Yes, it offers something closer to a 223 AR, but you can't use them in IPSC, and there's no like competitions that like I take, you know, the big draw for me of a 22WMR is opening up sort of mini rifle in the UK, being able to start shooting at 200-300 yards quite consistently with the 22WMR, but it's not there. So like I can get for like the pest controllers wanting like an AR platform, semi-automatic in 22WMR, fantastic. For a bit of plinking and a bit of fun, absolutely. But personally, I have no sporting use for a 22WMR. So it's like I would just rather have another 22LR. I'd rather, I'd rather have a 1522, a battle arms, and like a 15 and a 1022, rather than sort of using a slot or using money to get a gun that I think I will only just have a bit of fun with. Callum has my Guncraft ready for a video coming up soon. Do I? This is news to me. EnglishShooting, Trump was one of the greatest presidents we ever had. And that is so true that we all saw it coming. Yes, well, the thing, I can't say that I have followed American politics or even like American history close enough to really say like the greatest ever. But when you look at the stats, unemployment fell, GDPR was up, it's like all of the stats that they usually measure a world leader, he was doing pretty well at, better than the previous lot. But because he said a few hurty words, people got all their knickers in a twist. And it's like a leader shouldn't be popular. Yeah, and I think you can actually draw, and I know actually Trump is a huge or one of Trump's sort of idols or maybe icons was Margaret Thatcher, right? Margaret Thatcher probably has to be one of, if not the most unpopular prime ministers the UK has ever had, but she got the job done. It's like the only time, or one of the only times I'm aware of, that we reduced VAT, we reduced tax. Like the country had so much money, we were doing so well that they didn't need as much tax. So yeah, on paper, Thatcher, fantastic prime minister, but in terms of popularity, she definitely didn't win the popularity contest. And I think Trump actually has a lot of that. Overall, the job he did was pretty good, but he just wasn't Mr. Popular. And for some reason, Biden was slightly. I don't want to say any more to that because YouTube might take my video down. We did talk about the 22WMR months ago, mind. Yeah, like I have a very, very bad memory. Trump dipped his toe into the Rubicon and then walked away. We will do more videos, Daniel. We have to get you down to the quarry. That would be good. GBPRA is considering it for mini PRS style matches. A bit of crow bashing it is then. Yeah, I've never actually shot crows. Only pigeons. In terms of like pest control. Maggie won popularity when we invaded the Falklands. Okay, yes, granted. I mean, that's why she ended up, turning it around and got as many terms as she did. But I would say overall throughout the overview of her leadership, probably one of the least popular prime ministers out there. Certainly towards the end. I know that's sort of how it normally goes. But I mean, when they're rioting in the streets, someone's not particularly popular. And also, as a caveat, this was before I was born, so my recollection of things might be a bit vague. What are you guys? Range 23 has one of the Caliber Keltex 22 WMRs. Are you getting any more of those in, David? Because I think you'd sell them. They sold quick enough the last time. Right. Well, that's sort of about it from me. I've looked and you guys, if you have any other questions or any other topics, get them in. We need Callum to convince Connors to make a better WMR mag. He's already improved. He's already improved it. He's already improved the WMR mags that are out there. For those of you that don't know, the feed lips on the Black Dog magazines that are sold by Guncraft, those feed lips are made by Magload. Love Maggie Thatcher in Wales. We do. Oh wait, hang on. See, overall, maybe range 23. I should because I never got to review, like full on review, the Keltec. I don't think I ever actually managed to do a video with it. So maybe I might have to make a cheeky visit up to you, if of course you'd have me. You know, that's very presumptuous. That would be yeah, could do that. Drop me an email if you'd be interested. Well, I've got your page here, so I could drop you a message after the stream. Whereabouts are you based? Trying to find that out. Trying to stalk you live on the stream. So yeah, if you'd be interested in meeting up and allowing me to fondle your Keltec, that would be pretty cool. What about Blair, Brown, May, and Cameron? What a bunch of wankers! Yeah, they were just like. I mean, Blair, overall, I would say, okay, I think he actually became more unpopular after he left office, because then all of the shit sort of came out that, you know, what he did or didn't do. But it was sort of just like, what's the expression? It was just like popular to dislike them. You know, I don't think there was any real hatred there is now of Blair, but like Brown, like, did people really hate Gordon Brown? No, they just thought he was a bit bumbly, you know, wasn't very good at the job. May, the same. Did people really hate May? No, I don't think so. Again, it's just not the best person for the job. And Cameron, yes, there were a lot of people that hated Cameron, don't get me wrong. But he didn't sort of go out in that blaze of hatred as, I think, Thatcher. I mean, you know, when they're in your own countries, when they're making effigies of you, effigies the right word? I can't pronounce it. You know, when they're making dolls of you and hanging you and burning you, when they come up with you know, Ding Dong the Witch is Dead, you know, like when they're playing that at your funeral and things like that. Again, you like. I think there was a whole I think if you were to take the hatred or dislike of Brown, Blair, May and Cameron and put it all together, I don't think overall it amounts to the overall hatred for Thatcher. Again, even though in my opinion she was more of a prime minister than any of those put together, because the original point I was making here was leaders are not meant to be popular. They're not meant to make popular decisions. If you're there purely making decisions of popularity, you're not being a good leader, right? Because sometimes you've got to make shitty decisions for the better of the country, right? Rather than just winning a popularity contest. Sorry for bringing Biden and Trump up. It's just that Biden's been in the news a lot lately. Oh yes, oh yeah, we've seen. We're getting a lot of it here as well. And his hypocrisy on banning ARs, yet he gave the Taliban 85 billion in weapons and gear. Yes, that's pretty much what is all over the news here in the UK. Let me let me show you. I'll bring up BBC News. Like this isn't scripted or prepared. Let's see what's on BBC News right now. Oh, it's a storm. Well, it's a bit of a change. There's actually nothing about that. Okay, it's because it's been going on so long. It's even got its like own thing. It's a major news piece at the moment. Although obviously the flooding's taken over. Yeah, you can see there's still a number of articles about it. So yeah, we're very well aware of the hypocrisy from Biden. You know, like your own citizens aren't allowed AR-15s, but you're going to go and give rocket launchers to the Taliban. Like, okay, let me try and work out the logic on that one. Yes, range 23. Of course, I have you over. We have to top and tail though. Ooh. Only if you buy me dinner first. That's what Daniel normally does. But yeah, that would be awesome. Because I see your videos pop up all the time. I've actually watched a lot of your videos come up because you do some really interesting stuff. For those of you that don't know, head over to Range because you're on YouTube and I'll just bring it. I'm just gonna bring you up. Yeah, because you did a recent ammo test. That was quite interesting. 22W, I think it was the 22WMR ammo test that you did. Although, is my internet connection just going to die? Start loading videos as well. So if any of you are looking for another English gun channel, then go and check out Range 23 on YouTube. Here we go. So yeah, that's it. That's what I was watching. Is it the worst 22WMR ever? I mean, like I was like, oh, it's gonna get spicy. But yeah, loads of different videos. Mainly on 22WMR. You seem to have a bit of a soft spot for WMRs. But yeah, no, it'd be awesome to come out if well, there's the CMR 30. Yeah, it would be great to be able to get a review of one of those out on here and to probably get behind one. Guncraft, I've obviously had a fair amount of experience with the Guncraft. Channel update. What are you updating? So yeah, that would be really good. Not subscribed. There's lots of people I don't subscribe to. As I said, I don't use my channel for gun channels. I end up using it for car and watch channels, but I still watch the videos. Daniel, thank you. Anyway, you don't have to be subscribed to someone to watch them. Trust me. Like 80% of the people that watch this channel aren't subscribed. Just kind of, it's all WMR. Well, if I want to get some WMR shooting in, then you're the guy to get hold of. So I'll drop you a message after the stream, and I'll subscribe. There we go. I'll keep Daniel, the moany little bitch he is. There you go. Just subscribed. So just to shut Daniel up. He doesn't subscribe to me. There's various reasons I don't subscribe to you, Mochaccino. Do you want to hear them? So there is, and also I sort of lose track of what to subscribe to. Like you're well known for having many different accounts. That 80% is mostly feds watching. They would be subscribed. The feds and NCA and police would definitely be subscribed to the channel. Like there's no doubt about it, because they wouldn't want to miss anything, from this forum of extremism. But yeah, anyway, I'm just gonna end up rambling from there. Before you guys will leave, hit the like button. Like, makes me happy. We didn't hit 100 this week, so nothing special is going to happen, unfortunately. But yes, not even subscribe. Forget it. You're dead to me. Sorry. Are you subscribed to me though? That's the bigger question we should be asking here. I know it's probably yes. I've just subscribed. Can we make up? Can we still top and tail? I do still watch the videos. That's the most important thing, isn't it? I've got loads of red lines over your videos where I've watched them. And actually, to be fair, I watched more of your stuff on Facebook. I see more pop up on Facebook, mainly because I wasn't subscribed on YouTube. That's why I probably didn't see the videos pop up. But anyway, moving along from that point swiftly. Unsubscribe. You're not going to unsubscribe from me, Mochaccino. We all know you want the D. But anyway, subscribe to all the English shooting, all the English gun channels. Nearly just slipped on that one. But yeah, I am going to wrap it up there. I know it's been, well, apart from the big whole Guntrader story, there hasn't been a huge amount this week, and yeah, again, I will be getting back on the videos. There will be the usual schedule will presume shortly. There's always stuff to be made. I've got different product reviews. I'm going to do a full review of the Element at some point if you're interested in seeing a comparison between the Pro and the Element. I've got the new shot timer that I'll be doing a review of at some point, the Special Pi shot timer that people just seem to be going gaga about, the Trigicon Credo to do, and hopefully there'll be some interesting stuff to talk about and potentially rant about and make other videos on. But yeah, as always, guys, I really appreciate you tuning in and joining me this evening. It's always fun and interesting to chat the shit with you guys. But yeah, again, thanks for your time. Hope you've enjoyed it, and of course, as always, I hope to see you soon.